Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for joining us for a bit of an impromptu live stream. Sorry, Rust. I know he wasn't prepared for this. He's trying to climb up already. Come on. I'll get you on camera in a second. Yeah. Oop. Come on. No. Yeah. Hey. Everyone thinks I make him be part of the videos. He's really not. All right. Yeah. So this was a bit of an impromptu live stream. I was sat here doing some research into Apollo photos, and I thought I've had quite a few people before commenting saying that they'd sort of like to see the behind the scenes of how my research process goes on. So I thought, while I'm sat here doing it anyway, I might as well stream it and everyone can sort of see what goes on. I don't know how interesting it's going to be. Probably not that, but I thought I'll just do it anyway so people can see if they want. Yeah, I've been doing quite a lot of research into the Apollo photos at the moment. I mean, I've been sort of had quite an avid interest in Apollo since I was a kid. So seen a lot of the photos and videos over the years, but really since, not only since starting making debunking videos, I've looked a bit more into them all, or more in depth into a lot of them. But also quite recently, obviously, with these discussions with Jaren, I've really been delving into most of the missions, trying to find good examples of things like parallax shift, which is a point that seems to really be sticking, that is really the sticking point, I think, with Jaren. And I think if I can find a really good, some good examples of parallax movement in the photos, it might sway him to sort of change his mind about Apollo. And I know a lot of people say, why do I waste my time with it, and or this in general, or spending the time talking to Jaren. And the reality is, I'm not. I don't consider that I am wasting my time, because I am putting hours and hours into looking through this stuff, but I find it fascinating. I find it really interesting. And I'm finding all these great examples that I never even kind of considered before, and I'm looking into all of it in a new light. But I mean, just to give you an example, well, here's my screen at the moment. So this is the downloads folder of my computer, and it's pretty much entirely filled with just Apollo photos and stuff that I'm going through at the moment. And then I've got the folder here that I've got, which is all the stuff I've been keeping hold of for Jaren, and there's a whole load more photos in here. So yeah, so I mean, these were ones that I'd found last time that I showed him, which was a sequence of photos that you can see as they're driving towards the lunar module on Apollo, 16? And I was able to figure out that the lunar module there in this photo is about 400 meters away from the rover. Just by measuring its angular size in this photo and being able to sort of work backwards from there, I figured out, it's about 400 meters, which is pretty damn big for a studio. But what I've really been trying to find now is some parallax shift. So parallax shift is obviously if you hold your fingers up, like kind of in front of you like that, so that they're aligned, and then you sort of close one eye and line your fingers up, and then you switch eyes, your fingers appear to move relative to each other, because your observer position's moved. That's parallax shift. So one of the things that that Jaren was bringing up was from very early on, was in things like the short clip of footage from on the rover when it's driving along. He says you don't see much parallax shift, and the reality is that you don't see much parallax shift there because, one, the rover's driving towards the object, straight towards the object, whereas parallax shift is most noticeable when you're going perpendicular to it. And secondly, they don't actually cover that much of a distance either. And when the further away the objects are, the more you have to move relative to those objects for you to then notice any parallax shift. So, you know, he was seeing that lack of parallax and concluding that that's because it's a studio, which they wouldn't really work if it was a studio, because if you were in a studio, then the mountain should then be either a projection or painted on the wall. So as you're then traveling closer to that wall, the wall would then be getting bigger. You know, if I moved my camera now to here, the mountain in that picture would obviously appear to get bigger because you've pretty much halved your distance to it. So yeah, the fact that that doesn't happen is actually a clue that they're in a very big landscape environment, not a small studio. But I've been going along and looking for some different ones, and I just find it fascinating looking at some of these. So for example, like this one I found is from Apollo 17, and you can see just between those, you know, obviously the camera's moved position there. You know, it's kind of obviously it's he's taken several steps to the left in this photo. And so where you can see the parallax, or how you can notice the parallax in these images, is if I go and bring both of those into Photoshop. I don't know why. I've told it to screen share this, and for some reason it's cut off. It doesn't actually screen share the top portion of the of my screen for some reason. I can only apologize. So if I put the two photos there, and then what I do is I line them up to each other, and then you pick one spot, what I call the pivot point, that one object that you want everything to pivot around. So for this, I can align it to the lunar module. So I'll align both photos up there to the lunar module, and then as you skip between them, you can obviously see all that parallax movement. So this rock, for example, is obviously moving in relation to it. So that's to be expected from the man-made objects in the foreground. What Jaren's argument is the stuff in the background should also be moving. So, you know, I could then change this and say I'm going to pivot around this rock here. And you can see, you know, these rocks here are moving in relation to those rocks. So that's not some painted backdrop. If it was a painted backdrop, they would all be remaining fixed to each other. You know, if for example, you know, if we were to say that this is the studio backdrop, and you were to move the backdrop in relation to the camera, none of the objects here are moving relative to each other, because obviously they're all on one fixed surface. Whereas, you know, compared to the microphone, because there's that 3D depth to it, you do get parallax shift. So Yeah. Back up in a minute. So that's kind of what I've been looking for, is hunting through and trying to find some really good examples of that. And the one that I was just working on was for one from Apollo 16. So the thing that I've the key problem with when you're trying to find parallax is you need quite a big shift from one position to the other. You know, if you're if you go and stand on top of a mountain and you look out across sort of a vast hundreds of miles, and you take 3 steps to the right, you're not going to see any parallax shift for things way off in the distance. You would need to go like 3 mountains over to see a noticeable parallax shift. So I was trying to find examples of, I've been using, this is on Google Earth. If you go to Google Earth Pro, which obviously, you know, this is Google Earth, but then you go to this little icon of the planet up here, you can actually change it to the moon. So you can explore the whole moon, but they've got areas where obviously has been scanned in detail. So you just search, I'm going to search Apollo 17. And they've put onto Google Moon, they show you the route of they took on each EVA. So obviously EVA 1, EVA 2, EVA 3, and then they've linked some sample photos and panoramas that you can dive into. So wherever they've got a little camera is a 360 view that you can then just click on, and it'll take you in and load up a 360 panorama that's been made using the Apollo photos. So this I just find all fascinating, being able to sort of look around everywhere. And it's weird, when I've been looking through the photos on March to the Moon, which is what I usually use because they're all high resolution scans, you kind of look at some of these and they're just landscape. It's kind of difficult to, you know, you just kind of look at that and you think, okay, well, all right, you've got obviously astronaut and rover, which I could work out how far away. In fact, I'll do it now just because I'll work out how far away that rover is in the photo, approximately at least. Find it. So I've now got that many photos, I can't actually find the damn ones I'm getting. Or is it still? Oh, it's still downloading. Yeah. So I want somewhere here. I can't remember where I put it. Is it on this drive? I will apologize, everybody, by the way. I've got all my chats on this screen, and I'm primarily looking at this screen, so I am trying to keep an eye on everything. Right, that's downloaded somewhere. Has it? Yeah, there it is. So, come on. So, for this, what I would do is a little technique that I used for in the size of the Earth video that I did recently. So, I'd measure the size of the negative, which loads of people were going, oh, you can't count pixels, you can't count pixels. And I'm like, it's not necessarily counting pixels. It's you're just essentially trying to work out how big that rover is in relation to the whole picture. So if I measure across that photo there, let's get that as close to 0 degrees as I can get. I've got a photo width of, what's that, 10,891 pixels. So just make a quick note of that. 10,891 pixels. So that whole image is that many pixels. Then I need to remember what the that one. So this is the technical document from Zeiss for that 60mm lens that they used on Apollo. And it is definitely that one, because Zeiss themselves even said basically that lens can only be used with the Apollo camera, not any normal Hasselblad camera, because the Apollo camera had the viewfinder mechanism removed from it. They didn't have a viewfinder, so Zeiss developed this new lens with a much bigger rear element that protruded into the camera. So if you tried putting one of those lenses onto a normal Hasselblad camera, it would crash into the viewfinder. But what I'm interested in is that one there, angular view 47 degrees for the horizontal. So this image from left side to right side, you're looking across 47 degrees. And obviously that is in 10,891 pixels. So 0.0043 degrees per pixel. So for every 1 pixel of that image equates to 0.04 degrees angular size. So then I can work out how big this is by taking a known reference marker. So for the rover, I know that the diameter of the lunar rover wheels were 80.8 centimeters. So if and I know that for 2 reasons, by the way. Number one, because there is a technical document online that says it, but then I got Itza Rubix, who works within one of the NASA museums, and they've got a rover wheel on the wall, and I asked her to measure it for me. So that rover wheel is going through the center line. What's that? 176 pixels, we'll call it. So 176 pixels means 0.59. So that means the angular size of that rover wheel is 0.76 degrees, there or thereabouts. As a portion of, in proportion to the rest of the image. So that's where it's funny when people were commenting on the last video and going, or that previous video, and saying you can't be counting pixels. It's like, technically you are counting pixels, but you're not counting the pixels of an analog image. You're just getting a way of finding how big one particular object is in relation to the rest of the image. So then I would find an angular size calculator, just a basic one like this, and I know what the angular size of the wheel is, and I know what the physical size of the wheel is, so I can use those two to solve for what the distance is. So I say the angular size is that, and the actual size is 80.8 centimeters, which gets you that many centimeters, which is that many meters. Is that right? No, that can't be right. Where's that gone wrong? There's no bleeding way that that rover is 10 kilometers away. What have I screwed up there? I've screwed up something. I know I have. That's definitely 175 pixels. So 175 pixels times 0.0043 is 0.75 angular size. Angular size, yeah. 80.8 centimeters. Would put it that many centimeters away. What the hell have I done there? Clear off that. Ah, that's more like it. I've not cleared the calculator properly. Divided by 100 is 60 meters away. There we go. I was going to say, it's not freaking 100 kilometers. Or, yeah. So, roughly 60 meters away. Did I get 60? Not that one. Yeah. About 60 meters. So, that's how you can work out roughly how far away an object is, provided you obviously know how big the object is in the first place. It's not like I could do it for these rocks in the distance, because I don't know how far away they are or how big they actually are, but you could then use that same technique and say, okay, well, that rock is a similar distance away from the rover, so I could say, I know that rock is going to be about 60 meters away from the camera. Let's use that and figure out how big it is. So yeah, hell of a big studio for that to be, like say, 60 meters away. But where was I up to? So the one I was actually looking at, I was trying to find for a good way of seeing parallax between points is, because they went to several different locations, is to find where they've traveled a sort of a longer route here and look for some objects either direction, like perpendicular. So not looking, rather than say I'll find a picture taken here and a picture taken there and a picture taken there, and I'm going to look to see the change in these mountains, because you're then going straight towards it. You would prefer to have going like this way. So saying, okay, I'm going to look at a location here and a location here and a location there, and compare how the mountains move here as you're moving horizontally. Or perpendicular, I should say. Jamie Rosada, what do you guys think about Bart Cybrell? He's full of it. I know he's full of it because I've debunked him twice. His main claim on his "a funny thing happened on the way to the moon," the bulk of that documentary is the claim that they were in low Earth orbit, that they were faking going beyond the Van Allen belts because they couldn't get there. They weren't halfway to the moon. They were in low Earth orbit. And I did 2 videos conclusively pulling apart his claims and showing how they don't work, and also showing the fact that you look at the Apollo broadcast, you look at the Earth at the start of the broadcast versus the end of it, the cloud formations haven't drastically changed over 30 minutes, which if they were in low Earth orbit, it would have, but also the Earth's rotated slightly. So you're only getting that from a very far distance away, which would then put them beyond the Van Allen belts. Because people have said, oh, maybe they were in geostationary orbit, but geostationary orbit is beyond the worst part of the Van Allen belt. So if they've made it to geostationary orbit, they've made it beyond the belts, therefore there's nothing to stop them getting to the moon. I did 2 videos. Bart himself commented on both of those videos, not actually addressing the points of the videos. Both of them, he decided to link to that video about, I don't know, whatever it was, that Russian who used some AI thing to analyze the photos and said that they could be fake. Like, no actual attempt to debunk that, to address that his claims about not being able to get to the moon have just been wiped out. Just like, let's deflect to something else. But then still proceeds to go on to other people's shows and have interviews making the same claims that he knows of being pulled apart. Anyway, so what I was in the middle of doing when I decided that it'd be good to stream this is I was looking for Apollo 17 here, and I noticed that there's a fair few a few sites sort of here going across, and so I was looking at these mountains. So if I click this one, so over in that direction, I was initially trying to see if I could find the lunar module, but I think it's obstructed. So I was looking at these mountains for reference, because that's clearly several different mountains at various distances. So obviously, if there's as they're moving between different locations, those mountains should be changing, or they'd stay the same if it's a fake backdrop. Yeah, so where was the lunar module there? Yeah, so the lunar module was there. That would be, yeah, off to the right of those mountains. I think it's hidden, unfortunately. I found a great one on Apollo 15, where they were kind of up on the side of a mountain, part way up a mountain, and they used the telephoto lens that they had, and Dave Scott actually managed to get a photo of the lunar module when it was, I can't remember, I did the maths, I think it worked it out at about 6 or 7 kilometers away, this little lunar module, and I laid it over the big landscape photos, and you can see it matches up perfectly. So yeah, this was Station 6, Station 7, and Station 8. And a great way to kind of narrow down and figure out where the hell all of these are is you go to Apollo Surface Journal into the image library, and seeing obviously Station 6, Station 7, Station 8, they tell you for each magazine which EVA it was on. So these were all part of EVA Loop 3. So you can see, what's that? So magazine 134, magazine 140, 141, 142, and 143 were all on EVA 3. And when you click on all of these, they'll also tell you which, sort of, if they're at a station or if they're driving between stations. So you can then use those to figure out which station these images are at. Alternatively, another way to do it is, because all of the photos are sort of taken in groups, what you can sometimes do is just click on where it says wherever the red dot is. It'll give you some details about one of the landmarks at that particular location. So that photo here was taken at Station 6, and that's photo 21496. So you can then just go on to March to the Moon and go, okay, 21496. That's a photo from Station 6, and usually most of the photos they're moving the camera a little bit in between, so I can immediately know those are the mountains that I'm looking for, but maybe not the best photo. But yeah, where did I put them? I need to remember which one I'm at now. This one. So I found 4 photos here. So this is 22126. Yeah, so this one, which was actually taken down here next to Camelot Crater. So I've got a photo from here, a photo from Station 6, Station 7, and Station 8, all looking towards this same mountain range. And I've lined them up on, where was it? This Bear Mountain. So Bear Mountain is sort of obviously much closer than the other mountains then in the background. But it's kind of difficult to tell on the photos because they're so far away. And because the light's quite flat, it's hard to tell initially that that's even meant to be a separate mountain from this one. It looks like it's sort of just more part of the base. So I've lined all these photos up on that same Bear Mountain. So you can see there's a clear shift there, obviously, in the background, but you can see all the mountains in the background doing the same, and that's just from Station 5 to Station 6, I think it was. And then there's 2 more, and obviously all the background's moving, and then there's the last one where they've gone right the way over to Station 8. You can't even see the ones beyond that anymore. And I can just flick back and forth between those and see clear cut. That is not some, like kind of flat studio backdrop. That's clearly many different mountains at many different distances, all changing. And I could probably even try and go one step further and say, I've had Station 5. I wonder if I can find anything from LI7. Can Station 4 see it as well, or is that beyond? I don't know. Station 4 should be able to see it, so 2990. See where I can find Bear Mountain here. Or even if I can find Bear Mountain here. It's always difficult. I've got to try and initially get my references, kind of my bearings with everything. Although that one might be a fun one for Jaren. I know he was... I need to look into Apollo 15, actually. He's got an issue with Hadley Valley, because it's said to be 1,000 feet deep, and he says it doesn't look 1,000 feet deep. So I was trying to see if I could find a way of figuring that one out, but where is that one even looking? If they're there, that's probably facing the wrong way. I There's that one. So Bear Mountain should be there's Bear Mountain. See if I can get that one to line up or if it's too far over. So that one just downloaded. Yeah. Alright, let's see, where's that one? Is that Bear Mountain or have I missed it? Might be too far off. I think whatever those markings are on this edge, but I think maybe I've gone a bit too extreme with it now and it's distorted it too much. So that one might be an out of it, but that one, I definitely think those 4 photos should do a pretty damn good job of demonstrating to Jaren that there is definite parallax. And maybe even one from EVA 1. 2755. Don't you worry, Rusty. I'll keep everyone entertained. I do apologise for his absence. He's decided the floor's where he wants to stay. Although it was funny, he was on the floor beforehand, and then the moment I got up to turn that camera on to prepare for the live stream, he jumped straight up on the chair like he knew what was coming. I can't even tell where the hell Bear Mountain is there. Oh, is that Bear Mountain hiding behind the... Oh yeah, I think it's obscured. Might be able to get it with that one. Might be a bit too low down, might be obstructed. They didn't do anything else. Did they get one? 2769. Yeah, it's insane. Just the sheer number of photos. It's genuinely just keeping me occupied. Mr. Toffee's there. You play me back at double speed, Mr. Toffees. I'll speak very slowly then. There's another one. No, is that the same one? It's not like the same ones from before. Where am I at? 2769. Okay. They did get a panorama. Did the panorama get anything? A bit blocked in by the sun. What was that other panorama? That's a much better one. Now I just need to figure out where the hell that was. That was... I didn't want to do that, Dave. I just bloody closed the program down. Well done. Moon. 17. Oh, Mr. Was a super chat there. Addicted to globing, $5. Thank you very much. Given what happened to Jaren following TFE, do you think he might be reluctant to accept the moon landings in fear of backlash? Possibly, to some extent. Although then I suppose, you know, he's already had a fair amount of backlash anyway, so I think he's kind of used to it by now. And I don't know. I'm not sure the backlash really bothers him that much. Like, seeing his response to the backlash. I mean, what was the stream he did this morning? I saw it this morning. That he was just sort of going through and reading everybody's comments and arguing with comments about it and all the backlash that people have got. So I don't think he's really bothered by the backlash. But then by the same token, I suppose, having just, like you say, just dropped Flat Earth to then immediately drop to the moon landings probably would get him accused of being a shill. I don't know. I kind of get, I think he's maybe he just needs something more concrete. Because the thing is, kind of, Flat Earth's one of those, he kind of saw Flat Earth. He saw the evidence to debunk Flat Earth with his own eyes. The daft thing is, he kind of already had the evidence to debunk it from the outset. He just hadn't put two and two together. He said about, he's bringing up flight paths and stuff. The flight route that CT took from Santiago to Sydney. Jaren already knew about that one because I'd done a live stream, not a live stream. I'd done a video all about flight routes and how literally took flight radar and projected it as an AE map and showed all the planes going around in big circles, and then projected it as a globe and showed them all that actual tracked planes are taking great circle routes. And he still didn't grasp it and did a response stream calling me a shill. So I think it was seeing it with his own eyes that really tipped it. Ian Reagan, as a listed contributor to the Apollo Surface Journal, I'd be happy to help out in any way that I can. Feel free to pick my brains. Thank you very much, Ian. I may well do that at some point. I'll see. I think I've got. I think Jaren and I are meant to be doing a stream on Friday, assuming that's still going ahead. And there was talk that it might be the last one that we're doing. So maybe we'll get a conclusion to it. There's Bear Mountain there. Where's a good? No, that's out of focus. Got to be very careful with these. I noticed you get ones like this where it's focused in on the stuff right in the foreground. The background goes all blurred. But then what you often find is lenses get what they call focus breathing. So when you change the focus, you actually change the focal length as well. So I know one of the photos in that article that Jaren showed me was Apollo 15. And it was trying to look at the shift of the mountains in the background. And when I was trying to compare it up, I noticed that the background of one of them, the mountain, was out of focus. So it actually kind of distorted everything. Where am I at? That one. I've got way too many tabs open. Remember, Dave turned up 30 minutes late for Jaren. I'll just tell him that we want to start it at 9 o'clock rather than 9:30, and then he might be there on time. Where am I at? Bear Mountain. Is that Bear Mountain? Am I imagining this? I thought that was Bear Mountain. Or am I looking in the wrong direction? I might well be. I think I am. There is... where's that in relation to that rock? Not where I can see, that's for sure. Or is that it? No. That box. I think that is the wrong photo. It's looking the wrong way. That's why the mountain doesn't add up. That looks like it in the background, but it's out of focus. So this is why this fascinates me. I'm just going through all these photos, and it's like trying to piece a jigsaw together. It's yeah, they're the wrong ones again. But it's just incredible that you can piece all of this together and it all works. That's... I do like these ones as well, just because they took loads of photos, and I remember it's found this one, and then I found this one. No, not that one. That one. Where the high gain antenna was pointed up at the Earth, and they've taken a couple of different photos, so I actually stitched them together to show you the Earth and the rover. Rust. Any chance you could, you know? Thank you. Thank you. There we go. He's been out the fray for a bit too long. Right. Where am I at here? I haven't found... Oh yeah, I had a look at these ones as well. So, I don't know which astronaut it was. One of the two on Apollo 17. Cernan or whoever. I shouldn't say whoever. I can't remember who the other one is, but they've moved around. They're literally kind of traveling around the lunar module. In fact, no, it's not Cernan. Who was? I was going to say who was the other? Who was the lunar module pilot of Apollo 17? And no, it was not Katy Perry. Because I think this is at the end of the third EVA. And whoever it was walking around the lunar module taking some photos. But what I'd spotted was, what's that, 2506 or 2507. I downloaded this before. I'm sure I did. 2506. There it is. So I think this was at the end of EVA 3. Schmidt, thank you, Schmidt. The background, I noticed they've got. Yeah, come on, load up. That's what I get for downloading the 150 megabyte full scans. So off in the background, that's the rover with, I believe, that is Cernan setting up the rover at the end of Apollo 17, ready for filming the liftoff. And again, you can pull a whole sort of parallax shift on those, although the lunar module kind of blocks a lot of the background out. But yeah, that is the end of EVA 3, because then these are, once they're back inside and desuited. So does the Surface Journal give me any clue as to which? No. Really want to find another one of Bear Mountain. Doesn't matter where they land on the moon, the background is always the same. Except it's really not. Like, clue is Apollo 17 is surrounded by mountains, and there's not a single mountain in view in Apollo 11. I know, because I've put together a video that's going out next week where I go through all 120 odd photos of Apollo 11, and here's Apollo 15, and there's no great big canyons in Apollo 16 or 17. Well, that's the one I've already got as well. What was the other one? Oh yeah, here's all the ones I went through. Like I said, I literally went through the whole of March to the Moon and downloaded every single photo of Apollo 11 that was taken on the surface. Because the next video I'm doing is regarding people who say that the photos look too professional. And yeah, they're really not. Striking, yeah, because they are literally on another world, but in terms of kind of professional, they're not. You can kind of tell looking through most of these. There's none of these that aren't just, you know, kind of literally happy snappy shooting. So who's saying no stars? I'm seeing part of the chat talking about no stars. I did also find, I thought this was quite cool. This one. Yeah. So these are two from Apollo 12. Apollo 12 is a bit of a shame one, really, because it kind of gets a bit forgotten about. There's not as much coverage about it as a photographer. Oh, goody, Mr. Wayne's in. As a photographer, would have been set up to take pictures of the stars if you went to the moon. No, not really, in the same way that I didn't take any photos of the stars when I was in Antarctica, because the sky was a little bit bright. But if you want to go like that, Mr. Wayne, I can show you, because they did have a 35mm camera with them, that they were trying to take photos of the stars. Is it that one? What were these on? No, not 15, not 16. 16. They were taking photos of the stars with really high-speed film, which is what you actually need to take photos of the stars, not film designed for daylight. Except you also then have the problem that you try hand-holding photos, but those are stars. Oh, they did take photos of the stars, but they had to take them through the hatch, the skylight at the top of the lunar module, because everywhere else was bathed in sunshine. Which, if you've ever tried looking up at the sky during the day, you'll kind of know you can't see stars. Anyway, that's enough of Mr. Wayne. So these were two from Apollo 12. All right, so this one's magazine 49 and this one's magazine 48. Which is which here? Any red stripes on them that I'm not seeing? Anyway, one's going to be Pete Conrad and one's Al Bean. So two magazines because they've both got a camera each. Ian, a crater that formed on the moon after 1966 was discovered in the LRO images by Dr. Stephen Skook. I then looked at Apollo 12 landing film and found the crater in the sequence. Awesome. Yeah, I noticed these two, and then noticed so that obviously the backgrounds of these are completely different. So they both stood facing each other. And then I realised whatever that is, one of the pieces of equipment that they were carrying in his left hand, is there in the photo. So I actually took that and overlaid it. I took that and overlaid it all the way around. So this is another one that I'll probably show to Jaren when I next speak to him. Because if you... Where's flip gone? Edit. Transform, flip horizontal. You can literally see the reflection of one of them taking a photo of the other one in his visor. And that's the lunar module way off in the background, out of focus. And then couldn't really do the same on this one because yeah, he's put his hands down for this one. But you can see if I do the same with this, and I'll say, I'll copy that. Not that one. And duplicate to there. It's kind of difficult to tell with this one because it's so bloody grainy. But flip horizontal. Not that. Go away. Pretty damn good reflection. of them. So like I said, it's just I was going through these just endlessly and happened to upon these two, and I'm like, hang on, they're facing each other. And I know Jaren had pointed that out in the last one and said, Canadian Space Agency, was Jaren supposed to be here? No, 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 no. I think if Jaren and I have been doing the streams on Fridays, and I think we're doing another one on Friday, but I haven't confirmed it with him yet. This was just I was digging through these photos looking for parallax shift to bring up to him whenever we do have a discussion. And I just thought while I was here anyway and doing it all, I thought I'd throw a stream up just to sort of show everybody the research process of it all. God, because yeah, I have been spending a hell of a lot of time. Oh, nice of you to join us. Going through all of these, not just for the streams with Jer, I am planning on also doing some follow-up videos where I go through sort of more succinctly the processes of this and showing the various different analysis of photos as well. So it's not just research for Jaren, it's also research for stuff moving forward. Clive photos 21554 to 21562. Good example of little stone becoming a big boulder. Where is that one? 21554. Oh yeah, on the rover. If this ever loads. Ticked to Globe, and not this coming Friday. I'll be at work. Do it next Friday. Probably can't do it. Yeah, I'm. Oh no, 27th. Am I doing 27th? Can't remember. You might need to play catch up. I suspect I've got. Well, I'm getting married in like 2 weeks, so I've can't be going to. I've got quite a bit coming up, so I'm not really that flexible with stuff. Oh, are you referring to that one? 554. Oh wow, that is awesome. Love that one, Calvin. Thank you very much. Is that... Are there any other photos? Do you happen to know if there's any other photos? Were they just driving past that, or did they actually stop? Oh no, they did. Oh, perfect. It's that kind of thing. That's exactly the kind of thing that I'm looking for. In fact, that's it there, isn't it? I think. Or did I just make that up? Wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, there. That one. That one. That's still it there. That looks like it might even be it there as well. probably it there as well. My God. I could put these into an animation. that I am looking, that still looks like the same rock cluster from even further back as well. Oh, Ian, thank you. AS 21203. Oh, no, in fact, I know what it was, Ian. Sorry, I remember what it was now. I found that image on the with the 500mm. I couldn't work out where the hell the lunar module is in the wide shot, because everywhere I was looking, it looked like the lunar module was obscured from all these locations. I'm sure, unless it was taken from somewhere else, but I thought they'd taken it from one of these sites over here, and yet from what I could tell, it looked like the spot was blocked by this ridge here, but or was it taken from somewhere else? Is that why I couldn't find it? Was that 21203? I'm sure I've got that somewhere. No, maybe not. Or did I get the other one? I could have sworn I went hunting through trying to find the damn thing. Like trying to align it onto images, and I just couldn't work out where the background matched. I'll have to have another look into it. What the hell was I doing? Oh yeah, I was on that one, wasn't I? I was trying to work out where these them rocks are. Hey, DP debunks. If the moon landings are real, then explain this. It's a super chat. What more do you need to explain? I know you're an Aussie DP, but come on. What am I looking for? None of this stuff. Where the hell am I? There, that's what I was up to. So what have I downloaded there? Up to 21546. So if I get... Have I maybe... Oh shit, if I can bark him right up the wrong tree. I'm looking at those ones, aren't I? Still, should be good enough. clear off these. Right, so if I go load into stack and then select all those that I've just downloaded. Now it's going to bring them all in and automatically layer them. I hear a bedroom door open, which means I'm about to get a visit from a small person. Either that or she's just going to go sneak off and start trying to play with dolls. She won't. I've just heard her come out of a bedroom, so I suspect she's going to walk down to our bedroom, realise I'm not there, and then come in here and try and find me. Right, so I can... So... Those two there. I could probably, does that go the other way as well? These are awesome, Calvin. Thank you. I could have a hell of a lot of fun with these. Right. So those. There it is. Just out of curiosity, what happens if I try and scale that? Grumpy old mechanic, joining late. I hope you give the vast body of scientific. Yeah. Oh, I will try. I will try, but I think with dealing with Jaren, I kind of think that pictures is easier for him to sort of go with, a bit more visual. Probably very much like me. I see somebody sneaking in. Hello, you.
I want to sleep in your room.
What?
I want to sleep in your room.
You want to sleep in my room?
Yeah.
It's a little bit early for that. Oh, wow. You can even see the parallax movement just of those. Just from where it's moving across. It's use this to buy. Turtle moves £5. Use this. Get your finger out your nose. Turtle moves £5. Use this to buy little Misty Bunk or something. Oh, thank you very much, Turtle. I'm sure we can find something, can't we? Yeah, do you want to put that down? Get back into bed. Come on. I can't. I've got to do work. Hey, 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 look. Who's that? Just showed her on the screen as he's in a grump now. Alright, sit with me for a bit then. Steel City, as soon as she can read well, Dave, you'll be replaced. Oh yeah, between him and her, I'm done for. I'm just the stopgap. You go cuddle Rusty. Yeah. Rust, go on. I got a load of stick for the top left toon video that I was pulling heartstrings. She's like it all the time. Alright. I didn't ask her to cuddle him. No, I did now, but not in the top left video. Holy hell, I could be here all night playing with just these ones. I'm gonna line all these up properly. A little bit parallax movement there as well. Oh, suddenly the super chats start rolling in now. There's little people in. Wait, where are you going? Oh, it's a Rubik's. It's a Rubik's. Don't you know it's all fake CGI? Yeah, you're the NASA shill and you told me so. So, you know, that's what it is. Jim Daniels for $10, adding to the Little Miss Debunker trend. Thank you very much, Jim. And then Scoundrel for $2. Dave, I've made some lullabies on my channel. Thank you very much. You okay? Yeah. There you go. Oi, cheeky. You're stealing my drink. Shocking. Anyway, what was I up to here? Can I find where's... Let me just do this one-handed. Oh, it's hidden. That's why I can't find it. I'm looking at the wrong rocks. I'm seeing that one.
Daddy, where have you got love?
What?
Love of these?
A lot of what?
These?
What? You mean why is my desk a mess?
Yeah.
Because I've not tidied it.
Oh, and guess what? There's this round thing that got round with gold things.
What things?
Them gold things.
Oh yeah, those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can use them.
Can you?
Yeah.
Got to be very careful with them.
I am.
She's eyeing up my drawing pins and saying she can use them. When did you use them in nursery?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does the teacher help you?
No,
No!
I can't do it. I use them to make robots.
My child's making robots out of drawing pins. Should I be alarmed? If there's an AI uprising, we know who to blame. Sean Hartley, hi Dave, big fan. How long does it generally take to research a video? Kind of depends on the video, to be honest. Some of them can be quite short researches. If it's a topic that I'm pretty familiar with already, I might already know the material, or if I'm doing a response to something, quite often it can be a fairly quick process to at least do the research side of things. Can't see all of those. But when it comes to ones like this where it's kind of digging through photos, it can take quite a while. I spent, God, how long was it? Well, like the doing all of this for the Jaren streams, it's been a fair few weeks constantly of going through, digging through, looking for stuff. Endless notes everywhere that I've made, where I was doing like the parallax measuring and the size measurements of various different things, because it's not just a case of measuring the size of things, it's finding the photos that are suitable for it as well. So yeah, it can be a long process sometimes. Other times it might be like a day. Other times it might be like a week. I think I could do quite a bit with those. I'll probably do it tomorrow, because I've got the photos now. There's definitely, obviously, parallax movement there of that rock, but also, like you say, Calvin, it's great to show the size difference as well, when it's just how big the rock actually is compared to what it looks like further away. Because I know when I first had the first discussion I had with Jaren, and he was showing some of the 16mm footage, and he was like, "Oh, look at those rocks. You know, it doesn't look like they're not moving. They're not having parallax like I would expect. So, you know, maybe they're fake." And I was like, "But you don't know how far away they are. They could be big rocks really far away." And he kind of threw that, kind of spun him a little bit. Where he just said afterwards, like, it's impossible to prove or disprove the moon landings, because you could just say everything's really big and far away, whereas, you know, kind of that's not always the case, but this one kind of really drives that home. That you tired? Yeah. You're gonna go back to bed. Yeah. Go on then. Where's? Don't forget your duck. I'll come in soon, okay?
My belly
Your belly hurts. That's probably because you're tired.
No, I drank too much drink.
You drank too much drink. Okay, well maybe don't drink for a little bit, okay? And just let your belly rest, okay? All right. Yeah.
I rest here.
resting in your bed. Okay. She's elected to go there. So she's got a bit of a sore belly, so I'll wrap up soon and go and get her to bed. There we go. So that's definite parallax movement. So that one. Fantastic. Excellent. And what's that? AS 17-141. 2106 is the 60mm shot. 21601. I can hear Rusty barking downstairs. He's just ran downstairs to, I don't know, look for something. Do you want me to hold them? Yeah, you just go and open the door and let Rusty back up. Oh, is that? Get that one, I'll have a look at it. Is that the lem there off to the left? No. Where's the lem there? It's going to be somewhere obviously off there. What's in the background of that? Well, it could well be. It's on the back of that crater. Oh, there it is, isn't it? That's it. Is that it? Where was that other one that I got? What? He is excited.
I wonder why that has captions.
Hey Max, how you doing, mate? Where was I? Hmm? How did I know he was excited?
Yeah.
Because I could see him. Where's...
Because wants to meet Max in the story.
Rusty wants to meet Max, he might well do. Oh, where was that 500mm shot that you mentioned? Oh, I still got it on that tab. There it is. So I did this one with Apollo 15. It'd be cool if I could do it with 17 as well. Take that photo.
He's smelling me. He was sniffing me.
Boom.
Why has he got? Why has he got them spots on his face? He was just looking at me, wondering what are you doing? What are them spots? What are them spots? What is them spots on his face?
That's just the colour of his fur. You mean these? You mean them on his nose? Oh, there is whiskers.
I don't mean the whiskers. Are they the holes for the whiskers?
Yeah.
To it?
There we go. How cool is that? So, from here,
Daddy.
there's the lunar module. Tiny little glistening speck. Is the lunar module, what's that, a hell of a long way away? Station 6-ish. Around Tracy's Rock. 3 kilometers-ish. I was going to say I might be able to do the maths on it to work it out, but it's difficult with a shot like that because the bottom's obstructed, so, and it's kind of hard to tell exactly where the ascent stage starts and ends, so.
Was Rusty a baby? Was Rusty a baby?
He was at one point. He's not anymore. He's old now.
Did I get to pick him up?
No, you weren't. He was a baby when Kia was a baby.
Does that mean the baby twins?
No, they're not twins. Perfect. That is amazing, Ian. Thank you for your help with that one. And Calvin, thank you for your help with...
What's that finger around his mouth teeth?
What's the thing around his teeth?
Uh-huh.
His gums, like you've got there.
Yep.
So I'm going to dig more into those tomorrow. At least possibly tomorrow when I get some time. Hopefully in preparation for if we are doing Friday. All those rocks are visible as far back as 549. There's a 2 rock closer to the left. That's what I think. That's what I was looking at, Calvin. Those 2 rocks there, I was spotting quite a way off, which I think is what I was tracking back beforehand. So I might try and do some alignments with those. Yeah. Cool. Right. I think I'll wrap that up there. Maybe get somebody back to bed. You're going to come and say goodnight to everybody. Okay. One more.
There's only one people. That is Lucy.
Okay, well, come here then. Because, oof. See that there?
Yeah.
That's you? Yeah. See all these?
Yeah.
All these are people who are watching.
Why?
Well, I don't know, because they're watching Daddy do work. So, are you going to wave to them all? You going to say goodnight?
Good night.
Right. Yeah, so a bit of a, like I said, a bit of an impromptu stream there. It was just while I was doing some research anyway. When I say what, it's creepy DP.
Who is that?
Are you going to say goodnight, DP?
Who's?
Hmm?
Who are them dogs?
The dog stamp.
Yeah.
Do you not recognise who that is? It's Rusty. That's somebody putting pictures of Rusty up. DP, all these people are watching. Yeah, all these people are watching. Oh great! Now everybody's spamming Rusty emojis. Right. Yes. Anyway, so thank you very much, everybody, for stopping by. You know, obviously a bit of a different stream, and very much specifically as well. Thank you to Calvin and Ian for pointing me to these two examples, because they're exactly what I was looking for. And that's the joyous thing. There are so many damn photos. You're always finding something new.
What are them things that are coming up?
Max, no, I just came in. Keep going. I would, but you know, somebody won't go back to bed, will you? No, but you need to go back to bed, don't you? Because you got.
I think I know.
What?
With you.
You've got school tomorrow.
I'll sleep in your room though, with you.
You can't. It's too early. Later, when you wake up, when it's light outside. Yes.
Oh.
Ah, grief. Anyway, yes. So, yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll try and do another one, like this at some point when I get time. I'm sure I'll no doubt be doing some more endless research at some point, but I agree with that. So, what she just said, yeah, you're gonna say goodnight.
Good night.
Are you signing?
What?
Are you doing your goodnight? She did sign language as a baby, so she knows that that's sign language for goodnight. Because, yeah. Turns out kids are actually very good at communicating, just not very good at speaking. So even as babies, they find ways to gesture quite easily. Yeah. Ian, £5. I don't trust the topographical map on Google. Too many glitches, and I suspect the data's too coarse. Congratulations on the wedding. Thank you, Ian. Yeah, I kind of, to be honest, yeah, I try and, I don't know. It was more the fact of I was trying to find the lunar module in 17, and I couldn't see it in the pictures, and I then thought that it was already blocked, and the Google thing just kind of back that up. I tend to use the Google Maps more for referencing the background.
Rusty's camera.
I know Rusty's on the camera.
No, he was like.
He's looking at the camera.
Yeah, he was looking as well.
He's jealous. You're gonna go give him a cuddle.
Yeah.
Go on then. Right. Anyway. What? Because I think because you were cuddling me and not him. Right. Thank you everyone for stopping by, and yeah, we will catch you in the next stream.
Rusty sits atop his big red chair, casting out looks without a care. With his sidekick Dave close at hand, teaching us about the globe. Sunspots or the new space probe, the daring duo will make their stand. Rusty lies in his big red chair, barely rubs legs rejected. So many of them to be corrected. Rusty sleeps in his big red chair. Those floppy ears still hear, I swear. He dreams of conspiracies to come. Dave leaves him be, he knows the score. It's action that this hound lives for, and his foes must all eventually succumb. Rusty has a nose for facts, a science-based directive. Battling conspiracy theories like a true canine detective. He can't be denied. So many have tried, so many have failed and ended up dejected. Just like the fish John West rejected. So many of them to be corrected.